What's up, card family? It is time for a super extra special edition of KPs and LPs. And today I am going to show you my top 10 Kirby Puckett cards as well as my top 10 vinyl records. But one quick caveat, these are not my 10 most valuable Kirby Puckets. They are just 10 that I really like for whatever reason. The albums are not my idea of the 10 greatest albums ever made. I don't own all of my favorite albums on vinyl, but I'll explain why I like the albums and cards that I'm about to show. I do have an honorable mention for KPs. I'm not going to say much about it. Just say that this is my honorable mention, this card right here. So for the glare, I got a new tripod and I'm getting used to it. So anyways, at number 10 for Kirby Puckets, it is this 2016 Pantheon Class and Rank. I just like this card that's got bat piece and the really nice patch. And this is my lowest numbered KP, and it's numbered 8 out of 10. All right, and for number 10 on my albums, Metallica and Justice for All. A lot of people would disagree with me, but this is my favorite Metallica album. After this, it all went downhill. I just grew up listening to this album as a kid, and so if the guy knew, if Lars knew how to tune his damn drum kit, this album would probably be a lot higher on the list. But as it is, it's 10th. I love it. It's got a lot of great songs. Blackened, Eye of the Beholder, One, The Shortest Straw, Harvester of Sorrow, just to name a few. From 1988, Metallica and Justice for All. All right, at number 2 on my KPs is a 1995 Select Certified Mirror Gold. And I actually have another one of these that's currently at PSA getting slabbed. It's a beautiful card. I know it's not anywhere near as rare or as valuable as the 1996, which I do not have. But even if I had it, I find this one aesthetically more pleasing. And it's very shiny. All right, and for my number 9 LP, I'm going with Corrosion of Conformity, Deliverance. Now, Deliverance is not my favorite CLC album, but of the two that I own, it is my favorite. Corrosion of Conformity are a criminally underrated band. They're an awesome band. I mean, they have tried everything from punk, southern rock, stoner metal, thrash metal, just about any type of hardcore genre you can name. You can lump them somewhere in there. Alternative, grunge, you name it. But if you want to know more about this band, let me know and I'll give you a list of songs to check out, because, I mean, their lead singer, Pepper Keenan, who is their lead singer on most of their albums, he has a little voice that you kind of got to get used to, but it's not terrible, but it doesn't sound great at first, but it really grows on you. Their music is incredible. They're just a great band, and I recommend everyone who likes any type of rock and roll, check them out. All right, at number 8, we have the 1985 7-Eleven rookie card. I just think it's a cool card. You don't see it that often. It's not super valuable, but it's just a neat card. What can I say? I actually got this one from my friend Brent, Near Mint Musings. But yeah, it's just one of my favorite Kirby Puckett rookie cards for sure. Just love it. And for an album, I'm picking Deftones' White Pony. Came out in 2000s, got songs Digital Bath, Elite, RX Queen, Knife Party, Passenger, Change. It's just a great album. Deftones is a band that has a special place in my heart. First concert that I went to with my wife was Deftones. She actually bought me this album for Christmas one year, and it's a great album. Deftones is another one of those underrated bands that I really like. All right, number 7. We're going with the 1992 score Kirby Puckett Procter & Gamble card in a Gem Mint 10. Now this card has some sentimental value to me because I remember as a kid sending in for this set. It was like a coupon out of the Sunday paper. You sent a couple bucks and they sent you the whole All-Star set. And don't know where my set is anymore, but I did have the set when I was a kid. And then I picked this card up later on in life, and it was actually the first ever Gem Mint 10 that I ever owned. And it was the first slabbed Kirby Puckett that I ever owned. So that's why it's got sort of a special spot for me. For my album, I picked the 1979 double LP from Pink Floyd, The Wall. The Wall is an incredible album. A ton of great songs. In the Flash, Thin Ice, Another Brick in the Wall, Mother, Goodbye Blue Sky, Young Lust, Hey You, Comfortably Numb. Let's try that and say it like grown folks. Comfortably Numb. And just, in my opinion, is Pink Floyd's best album. Way better than Dark Side of the Moon. And that's just my humble opinion. Coming in at number 6 is this beauty that I picked up recently. 1986 Topps Tiffany in a mint 9. But man, the card is sharp. You can see that the centering is off, especially when you look at the back of the card. But otherwise, it is pretty much flawless. Corners are sharp, edges are sharp. Just a dang good looking card, and it's a sweet picture of Kirby. Great design, 1986 Topps, in the harder to find Tiffany version. So for my album, I picked Stand By Me soundtrack. This might be the most unexpected album on this list, but I just love this album. I love the movie. Came out in 1986 and has the soundtrack is chock full of great 50s songs by Buddy Holly, the Chordettes, the Coasters, Jerry Lee Lewis, the Dell Vikings, of course the title track by Mr. Ben E. King. And I love this album because I put it on and I've danced with Carly and danced with Blake and Zach and just have a good time. And it's just a cool album. My only knock on this album is it's really short, and there's a few songs that were in the movie that are not on the album. So I really wish that they would do a re-release that had some of those other songs on it. That would be awesome. I Ran All the Way Home, even the Paladin theme song, and even some of the songs that the kids sang, and also just some songs that they played that did not end up on the soundtrack. But definitely a cool album in my book. At number 5, I decided to go with the 1992 Elite Series Kirby Puckett. This is the second year that they did Elite. One of the first serial numbered cards. As you see, it's numbered out of 10,000. But out of the millions and millions and millions of cards they made in 92 Donruss, it was a very tough pull. Just a beautiful, nice looking shiny card. And for my album, I chose the 1980 release Back in Black. It is a classic. It is one of the top selling albums of all time. It's one of the greatest rock and roll albums ever. I mean, Hell's Bells, Shoot to Thrill, Back in Black, You Shook Me All Night Long, Have a Drink on Me, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, Let Me Put My Love Into You. Ton of great songs. And AC/DC was an up-and-coming band. They had just released, I believe, Highway to Hell and Bon Scott passes away, and here they get a new singer, a completely different sounding guy, and they release this masterpiece. What's not to love about this album? All right, at number 4, I'm going to go with the 1991 Desert Shield. These cards are so cool. I love the 91 Topps design on its own. And you get that cool Desert Shield stamp. These cards were issued to members of the military, and they're pretty rare, fairly rare now. My good friend Greg, Cards of Giants, he gifted this to me. He also served in the military, so that makes it just that much more special. So, super cool card. And this card's pretty mint too. It's just off-centered. As far as my album, I went with the 1976 album Night Moves by Bob Seger and the Bullet Band, Silver Bullet Band, sorry. It's another album that I grew up listening to and just love, and there's a ton of great songs on it. The title track, The Fire Down Below, Sunspot Baby, Rock and Roll Never Forgets, Come to Papa, and of course Main Street, which is an incredible song. Bob Seger, I feel like, is also another one of those underrated rockers. I mean, guys like John Mellencamp, Tom Petty, they get all the attention, but they can't hold a candle to this guy. Bob Seger is the man. All right, my number 3 KP is this beautiful 2001 Topps Tribute jersey card. Man, I just love this card. It's just, I mean, I don't have any special attachment to this card other than it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful work of art. Love the stripe on the patch there. This is an incredibly nice looking card. And for my album, I picked one of my favorite bands, Pantera, Far Beyond Driven. This came out in 1994 and is actually the heaviest album to ever debut at number 1 on the Billboard album charts. A lot of people who like Pantera prefer their album Vulgar Display of Power, which is an incredible album, but I actually prefer this album. I don't know, this is the album that really got me hooked on Pantera, and this is the special limited edition artwork. This was the original artwork. It's hard to see on camera here, but there's a drill bit going into somebody's anus, and they were told, you can't put this on the shelves at Walmart or whatever, so they ended up going with a skull with a drill bit going into it, and that's in a blue cover, but I got this version. Lots of great songs. It's very heavy. I think it's their heaviest album, although, they got heavier and heavier, especially with the vocals, but I think with the guitars and the drums, this is their heaviest album. Strength Beyond Strength, 5 Minutes Alone, Becoming, I'm Broken, Slaughtered, which is a very heavy track, 25 Years, Shedding Skin, and they even got a slow song in there, Planet Caravan, a Black Sabbath cover. Great album. All right, number 2. I'm going to go with my 1984 Fleer Update. Kirby Puckett, I have it in a near mint to mint 8. And it's sorry, Dave, this is an iconic card. And man, I was really happy to get this. I love it. It's an awesome card. Definitely one of the greatest Minnesota Twins cards in existence. And for my album, 1976, AC/DC. This is the only band I have on this list twice. Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Another album that I grew up sitting in the back seat of the car, and my parents played it, and I loved it. I love the album cover. I don't get it, but I think it's awesome. It's just... And the album itself just rocks, man. I love Bon Scott. There's songs on there like Dirty Deeds, Done Dirt Cheap, Ain't No Fun. There's going to be some rockin', Problem Child, Squealer, Big Balls, and AC/DC's only ballad, Ride On. Awesome, awesome album. I definitely recommend it. All right, everybody, it's time for the number one drum roll. And most people probably know by now, but it is this, my Kirby Puckett autograph. Kirby Puckett autographs are hard to come by. They're very expensive, and especially if you find a pack-pulled one. And ones that are in slabs like this are very expensive. But you can get lucky, and you find a raw one, and it ends up being authentic. And that's what happened to me. I get this card with a giant signature on it. It's beautiful, and I was patient. Found one that I could afford, and got it slabbed. Thanks to Garrett over at Slab City. And couldn't be happier with this. My favorite, my only Kirby Puckett autograph. And for the album, another one of my favorite bands, Black Sabbath. This is a compilation album. Came out in 1976. It's a double LP, and I think it's got songs from their first four albums, which are their best four albums, at least their best four albums with Ozzy. Ton of great songs. So it basically took all the best of those four albums and put it into one double LP. We have songs like Black Sabbath, The Wizard, Paranoid, War Pigs, Iron Man, Tomorrow's Dream, Changes, Sweet Leaf, Am I Going Insane, Nativity in Black. They're all there, and it's just awesome to put this record on and just sit there and chill and maybe browse eBay for some more cards or some more records. But with that, that is my top 10 KPs and my top 10 LPs. And I hope you watched the entire thing, and I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you later.